Hey guys, what's going on? Spartacus here, back with another Command & Conquer 3 Kane's Wrath video commentary. Sorry for the long delay on this one, guys. I have been trying to get out a commentary video from Kane's Wrath, the 1.02 plus patch, but I have just been having so many problems with games desyncing, not really starting up properly. It's been a big juggling match trying to get things working, but I finally found a match that was worthy of VODing and also was able to function. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into this game. We have a random versus random matchup between DirtyDutch owns and Cyberstorm. So we have Cyberstorm starting on the left hand side of Tournament Rift as the R17, and we are going to slide across the center of the map to the right side of the map, and we have DirtyDutch owns playing as the yellow Marked of Kane. So DirtyDutch is doing something fairly interesting here. I don't usually see this out of Marked of Kane players, but he is going straight for a refinery, whereas if we go over to our Reaper 17 player, we have Cyberstorm going for the standard single engineer cap. It appears as though he's keeping this portal around maybe to produce some panic disintegrators. I'm not sure what the plan here is. Maybe just about to sell that off. There it goes. It gets sold off. Tip spike is capped, and DirtyDutch already has his refinery down, so his harvester is going to be out just a smidge earlier. His refinery placement isn't the best. It could be a little bit closer, which could have saved his harvester a little bit of time, which would have been a huge advantage having that harvester out earlier. But nonetheless, we have the single engineer coming out. His Tiberium spike is going to get capped as well. And we have Cyberstorm down in the south of the map, noticing that neither of the two southern spikes have been capped, and is going to be securing one of the bunkers down there. So we have a quick scout engagement, and oh yes, the Marked of Kane player comes through and manages to kill the buzzer squad before it is able to swing through. So we just have a few scouts. I am going to go ahead and turn on health bars, as it is sometimes hard to see, especially with the buzzers, as to where everything is on the map. And it appears as though we do have a buzzer squeezing into the back of DirtyDutch's base, which is going to be great, as he is going to be able to get vision on what is going on, going to be able to tell whether or not he's going to get bike rushed, and he's going to notice that it's going to be fairly standard player, double refinery, single war factory. He's noticed that there's already two harvesters out. He may not be able to see them as they are cloaked. All the same, he is good to go. And likewise for DirtyDutch, he is going to get a scout into Cyberstorm's base. Notice the exact same setup, and Cyberstorm is already making his way down south. DirtyDutch, it appears as though he has deployed early. He's put down another power plant. It looks like he's going for maybe another power plant here. Manages to kill off that scout with a buggy. Yes, he goes for a second power plant. So he is going to be on full power here, which is going to be good, as he is going to be powering bikes out of that main war factory, and that is going to be an early game rush. Not incredibly early, and certainly not an all-in, but bikes out all the same. And DirtyDutch is going to manage to get in behind Cyberstorm's harvester, which has been sneaking over to the blue Tiberium, trying to pick up a quick load. It appears as though it is going to get stopped, perhaps by this bike buggy, but this disintegrator squad is going to manage to pick up a bike kill. That is not good, and a second disintegrator squad is going to cause problems for this last bike. Can DirtyDutch pick up this last harvester kill before his forces are cleaned up in this location? It does not look so, as the photon cannon has been placed down, manages to pick up that bike kill, and another bike squeezes in, and the refinery goes down, and the harvester does go down. Full load of blue Tiberium going down the drain. That's a huge loss for Cyberstorm, which is going to be a huge victory for DirtyDutch. I wouldn't say necessarily too huge, as he lost a considerable force on his way there. And we just have the simple Awakened squad shooting at the Tiberium spike, just causing problems, just causing him to lose a little bit of money here and there, and it appears as though we have a buzzer coming up to clear that out. Now, this buzzer could have been picked off if he had noticed it early enough, but my guess is he wasn't paying attention. Probably just allowed it to get picked off. So, not a big deal here. It appears as though we have the second war factory down. We have another Hand of Nod down as well. Not quite sure what he's going to be going for here. Looks like we have an engineer out. Not sure what the engineer is going to be for. Maybe to cap the bottom spikes. It appears as though these garrisons have been cleared. And continuing to go with the bike buggy, it seems. And actually, no, looking in the north, we have some Predator tank, or I'm sorry, Scorpion tanks out for DirtyDutch. And they're going to be rocking the Kane's Wrath 1.02 Plus Edition skins. That is a beautiful thing. And we have just a buzzer scout coming across the middle of the map. And again, some buzzers. Just some scouts facing off. Not a big deal. And I'm not sure what happened up here. Maybe just picking off a scout. And we have a decent sized force down in the south for Cyberstorm. Nothing too major, but these Predator or Scorpion tanks, Jesus. Alright, Scorpion tanks, not Predator tanks. They're going to be moving in. They're going to be picking off these forces. And oh, they're going to be picking up all 4 of these kills easily. But no, they just keep managing to push forward. It looks like DirtyDutch really wants to get into this southern expansion, wants to do some damage to the harvesters. And it looks like a lot of his tanks are getting badly damaged. And the Seeker tanks are going to be rocking up to this battle, going to be doing a considerable amount of damage as well. And it looks like one harvester does go down, possibly a second one here. No, that is a Scorpion tank that has been killed. Another Scorpion tank goes down. 2 Scorpion tanks down for sure. The third one's going to be falling right there. So DirtyDutch is getting cleaned up pretty well, but his reinforcements are already en route. And we have a strong counterattack from Cyberstorm coming in on the expansion of DirtyDutch, but that is going to get cleaned up easily by these defending Scorpion tanks. And it appears as though DirtyDutch is still pushing this attack. Doesn't appear to be microing, as these forces should definitely be falling back at this point. Certainly not going to win this fight. Does manage to still pick off quite a fair few number of units, and is going to be losing the entirety of this force here. So Cyberstorm has come through with a victory here, losing, I believe, a few harvesters as well as a large number of units, so that's a pretty big blow to his economy, especially with the defensive advantage. But these Seeker tanks are just no match for the Scorpion tanks of DirtyDutch. And DirtyDutch is, it appears as though we are going to have a bit of a tank skirmish here at the blue field, and the focusing and concave from Cyberstorm is fairly strong, but the Scorpion tanks have the superior armor and superior damage output. But the numbers are just too great from Cyberstorm. They're just going to be coming through, and the shield upgrade comes through at the exact same time. They managed to clean up the entirety of that force there. They are going to be chasing this harvester that was going for the blue field. And I am not sure what DirtyDutch's response is going to be. He has stealth tanks out on the map. 4 stealth tanks out on the map, but this is going to be really bad for DirtyDutch. I'm sure he did not want to use these forces to take on the Seeker tanks, as they completely eliminate the stealth ability of the stealth tanks. And the stealth tanks are dealing a fair bit of damage to these Seeker tanks, but he is losing far too much in terms of high-level armor and DPS items at this point. This is going to be a huge blow. These items all get picked up. And oh, the tip vein comes down, kills the entirety of Cyberstorm's force there. Uses the Tib Vein on his own field. I believe killed one of his own harvesters, but probably for the greater good. And it appears as though we have the Buzzer Swarm coming in to clear out this garrison down here. Looks like Cyberstorm's going to be coming back down to pick up the 2 Tiberium spikes. Maybe only the one. It looks like one of his first engineers did get picked off by that squad there. And in the meantime, Cyberstorm has secured the middle green Tiberium field in the north, which is going to be a huge economy advantage for him, as DirtyDutch will be cleaning up the remainder of his Tib here pretty soon. And it appears as though we have a nuclear missile down on the field. May have actually been down for a decent amount of time at this point. And it looks like we have another force down this way. We have a catalyst missile out. Doesn't manage to pick up that harvester, but does take out the refinery. I don't know if that was necessarily worth it. Probably would have been better to take out the refineries up north, but I doubt he has had the opportunity to scout that, as I'm sure he would already be putting some pressure on that field. And I'm not sure where the construction yard has moved out to. Construction yard is packed up and is deployed at the center blue Tiberium field. But these harvesters from Cyberstorm just cleaning up all the blue Tib before DirtyDutch even has the opportunity to snag a tiny bit of it, and that is just a hit and run right there. Just completely clears out the entire blue field, and Cyberstorm is going to be feeling really good about that, as he has completely prevented DirtyDutch's expansion. And now these secret tanks are going to be rolling out, going to be meeting up with a few avatars. They certainly have the numbers advantage, but they will take a decent number of losses. Luckily, being Reaper 17, they have the shield advantage, and the Awakened squad is going to be getting off some EMPs. It's just not going to be enough, as these secret tanks are just too great in numbers. And we have a few Tiberium troopers mixed into this squad, perhaps just to slow down a couple of these seekers, just to guarantee a few kills. But he lost, I'm sorry, we have DirtyDutch lost at least one, maybe two avatars here, and is going to be pushing up. Appears as though he is going to take his MCV and push up to the center field here as well, and it's going to be taking some damage from these secret tanks. Meanwhile, these avatars are going to be getting 3 shots off on these secret tanks, and we have a lightning spike down for Cyberstorm, and it's going to be continuing to pick off. Let's just slide back on down here. You can see Cyberstorm is making a point to keep this blue Tiberium field clean, which is probably going to be the deciding advantage in this game, as DirtyDutch is simply not going to be able to match the economy. And we have the Buzzer Swarm being called in here, cleaning up all the Tiberium troopers. They are going to get picked up in the process, but the avatars are now here without support. They do manage to clean up all of these secret tanks. The Storm Column doing a fair bit of damage, though. It looks like this avatar could possibly go down. Yes, it does. And the Awakened squad getting off a clutch EMP on the Storm Column to clean that up as well. And we have an engineer out to recap the Avatar Husk, but it looks like that. No, the buzzers are not going to be able to make it to the engineer before capture is able to occur. And we have a ton of Husk getting picked off. And it looks like the Tiberium Trooper has been picked up. Obelisk down for DirtyDutch. So this force is looking very strong for DirtyDutch. A few of the harvesters have been phased. A couple of wasted shots if they're taking shots at the phased harvesters as opposed to unphased harvesters. And it looks as though DirtyDutch has successfully managed to pick up this center Tiberium field, surprisingly enough, with the economy advantage in favor of Cyberstorm. But oh, we have a signal transmitter down, and the mothership gets called in. The mothership has been called in. There is no anti-air here for DirtyDutch, and that has completely rejected this force from pushing into this center Tiberium field. A very, very interesting choice from Cyberstorm. A very well-placed defense, and we're going to have to see some bike production out of DirtyDutch to hopefully fend off this mothership. And the mothership has fired one shot, picks up the scouts, prevents any additional EMP, and it appears as though Cyberstorm is in fact going to get the kill on the construction yard. There's just no way to prevent this at this point. Might as well sell up. There's no way of preventing it. Might as well get the money back. And no, he is going to go ahead and take the loss, and all 3 bikes get destroyed as well. Too little, too late, I'm afraid. And even with the Tiberium core upgrade, it's just not going to be enough. And we do have a lightning spike down for Cyberstorm with full vision on this nuclear facility. And the nuke only has a 1-minute timer left, and it appears as though the bikes are coming up and still doing some more damage. Looks like the mothership is going to take one last ditch effort shot. Might pick up one more scout, might not. It doesn't appear as though he was in range. These bikes are going to finish off with the mothership. That bike going straight to heroic with the kill. And a photon cannon with the shard launcher upgrade, just doing some pesky damage to this harvester here. It does look as though this harvester is going to be killed by a photon cannon. That is not good. And we have a fair number of bikes with a Tiberium core upgrade, about 5 avatars. And this lightning spike is now going to start targeting the upgraded power plants of DirtyDutch. And it appears as though some Tiberium has been regrowing at Cyberstorm's main field, and we have a few Reaper tripods out for Cyberstorm, but that nuke is only 4 seconds away, so something is going to be destroyed. It may well be the warp chasm, but I don't believe he has eyes on it yet. Let's see where that nuke ends up. And the Eradicator Hexapod is out. The nuke does hit the Tiberium field, does kill all 3 tripods, which I guess, considering the scout of DirtyDutch, he probably needed to take care of that, as that was the only target of opportunity that he had. And these avatars are going to be falling back for sure, trying to get away from the Hexapod. And we have the barracks down for, or rather portal for Cyberstorm coming down to pick up these avatar husks. And we do have the bikes coming around, likely going to try to get the snipe off on these 2 avatar husks before they get picked up. But this Reaper tripod is going to be doing a considerable amount of damage. The heroic bike is in danger, and the heroic bike gets sniped by the recovered tripod. So 2 tripods do go down for certain. 1 extra assimilator is out, is not going to be able to do anything. And it appears as though this Reaper tripod is going to be destroyed once again, giving this assimilator something to do. And the Eradicator Hexapod is going to be coming up to defend this tripod, but no, the tripod does get picked off. And it appears as though Cyberstorm can see the trails from the stealth tanks, which are severely damaged, but they do somehow manage to sneak away in that mess. And it appears as though Cyberstorm did manage to pick up the kill on that upgraded power plant from DirtyDutch, which is a really nice pickup, I guess, considering that this lightning spike has been doing absolutely nothing aside from scouting. And it appears as though we've drawn to a bit of a lull here, and we have the Eradicator Hexapod just moving across the middle, just making sure to secure the footing in the middle of the map. And it looks like these avatars are going to be coming across the middle of the map. They do pick off the assimilator that is headed down to the south to pick up that Tiberium spike. So that is a decent pickup for DirtyDutch at this point. But this Eradicator Hexapod, especially with the triple disintegrator upgrade, is going to be doing a considerable amount of damage. But we do have the 5 EMP buggies coming in, and they're going to be EMPing, and they do finally pick it up. A bit of a miss micro here, as DirtyDutch should have seriously been able to do a considerable amount more damage. Stasis chamber goes down, taking out the avatars out of the fight. The stealth tank sneaking in from the north and taking out the... No, they do not manage... They manage to get 1 of the corruptors, but go down in the process. So he loses 2 stealth tanks for a single corruptor kill, and all 5 avatars are in serious risk of being killed here. They are going to have to fall back, but there is just no saving them. And there is a significant number of seeker tanks out for DirtyDutch with full upgrades to the shields and charge. That is just going to be too powerful for him to stop. And 3 avatars very seriously damaged. And we're going to start seeing the building block from DirtyDutch trying to prevent these units from going down. And it's going to be pretty decent. And we have an obelisk down as well for DirtyDutch. But is it going to be enough to stop this Eradicator Hexapod? It has the triple corruptor healing. It appears as though the corruptors are the targets of opportunity at this point. But these forces are just being crushed. And the additional harvesters going down, as well as the Buzzer Swarm being called and taking out the EMP advantage of the Mark of Kane, is just going to be the icing on the cake. So I believe that is really going to solidify our victory for Cyberstorm, our Reaper 17 player. And we do have a heroic seeker tank. Heroic seeker tank with full upgrades. That is going to be very brutal for DirtyDutch to deal with. He does still have the nuke, but it appears as though we have a bit of a sell-off here. I'm not sure if that's a full sell-off or what the deal may be. And we do have the Firestorm coming through. So Cyberstorm coming through with a very well-played victory. A clutch mothership to secure himself the dominance at the center field, which is really going to control the entire game. As on Tournament Rift, if you are not able to get the center Tiberium field and keep your economy advantage over your opponent, there's just no way that you're going to push through. And we'll take a look at the resources tab and we'll be able to see that here. So we can see that Cyberstorm had a significant advantage in economy towards the later end of the game, and just DirtyDutch was just never able to rectify that. Trying to go for the blue field was completely sniped down, as Cyberstorm was able to get in there and sneak all of the blue Tiberium out before DirtyDutch was even able to get a harvester to the field. and then tries to get up north, but it is already fully secured by Cyberstorm. So Cyberstorm, well played on the economy game. That really came through for you in the end. Having the upgraded seeker tanks with the shields and the shards really came through. Just a couple of clutch pushes from him, and just a few missed micros from DirtyDutch, and that's really how that game went. But well played from both players. It was very interesting to see the different strategies that were taking place throughout the game. And anyways, thank you all for watching once again. Please let me know what you guys think. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.